Deb Tribe with you at 10 minutes to 10, and you need to be very careful how you use social media if you're in the United Arab Emirates. That was a lesson learned by Scott Richards, an Australian and British national who was charged under UAE cybercrime laws when he supported a charity on social media. Luckily, charges have now been dropped, but there is a campaign to make travellers aware that they might inadvertently be risking imprisonment. Radha Stirling is the CEO of Detained in Dubai and joins us now. Radha, welcome.
Thanks very much.
Can you tell us exactly what happened to Scott Richards?
Well, essentially, he was on social media, on Facebook, and he shared a charity that was registered in the United States. And that was in breach of new cybercrime laws in the UAE that prohibit the sharing or promotion of any charities that are not registered in the UAE.
So was he living in the UAE? Was he travelling through? What were his circumstances?
He's actually been living in Dubai for 9 years.
Okay. And so he supports a charity on social media. So what did he actually do in support of it?
He simply shared it. He's only got a limited number of friends on Facebook who saw it, and most of his friends are outside the country, so he wasn't even really promoting it within Dubai. And as a result of that, the legislative body there that runs charities raised a complaint with the police, and they followed it up and arrested him at his house. He was detained at Al Murakabat police station for a period of about 3 or 4 weeks.
Wow. So he went from sitting at home on Facebook to finding himself in a prison for some weeks, probably not fully understanding what he had actually done wrong.
Absolutely, because the cybercrime laws are quite new in the UAE, particularly on the charity side. I mean, this is a law that civilians in the UAE breach on a daily basis. Probably around 75% of users on Facebook have actually shared a charity, whether it's tsunami relief or a children's charity in the UK, or a charity that they support back home and always have before moving to the UAE.
And does the law apply to only residents of the UAE, or could you be visiting there and still breach the law?
Certainly, it applies to everyone. There was no provision for tourists or visitors. So, for example, if you're always supporting, if you're a British citizen, you're always supporting, say, an anti-fox hunting charity, and you're always talking about it on social media, you continue to do that while you're on holidays in Dubai, you could certainly be prosecuted.
Wow, that's really scary because a lot of people do support charities. That's one of the main things that I think people do like to share on social media. Why were the charges dropped?
Well, we believe that it was due to the international press campaign and attention that the Scott Richards case drew. There's other cases going on at the moment that haven't had any press attention, and we don't know the outcome of those cases yet. So it could just be that the international attention drew a negative spotlight on the UAE, and they didn't want to proceed to create more international attention in that respect.
So what are you doing with Detained in Dubai? Is it a campaign to try and raise awareness for people going there, or are you also trying to support the others that are in similar circumstances in UAE prisons?
Yes, I mean, we've been established now for 10 years, and we cover all sorts of, arbitrary arrests and complicated criminal matters that arise for expats and tourists. This case is just one example of what can go wrong in the UAE. There's many, many other cases of equally arbitrary charges and arrests for things like defamation, or you say something you didn't like on social media, or you drank alcohol, even with a license, or many, many different charges. And basically it's so common that we're actually launching a membership program that assists people in an emergency capacity in situations like this and gets in very quickly and tries to get the charges dropped as soon as possible or represents them later down the path.
And, it's something that you could find yourself in very deep water very fast. What sort of potential penalties are there attached to some of the laws that you've just mentioned?
Well, some of these laws, if actually sentenced, it can be quite lengthy. It can be 1 to 2 years. It can be a huge fine of $50,000 to $100,000, or it can be deportation. In other areas, it can be just lengthy stays at the police station waiting for hearing. You could be detained for 3 to 6 months just waiting for a court date. You get to court, and the judge rules in your favour and says, no, that's fine, you didn't do anything wrong, but you've been in jail for 6 months waiting for that the release, essentially. And we've had many cases like that. We had a case of plane spotters last year. They went and took some photographs of planes, and they waited in jail for 4 months before getting a court date. And the judge said, no, that's fine, nothing wrong, no deportation, no sentence. But 4 months in prison is a long time to be told, no, it's fine, we're not going to charge you.
It certainly is. Well, any time in prison's a long time, that's for sure. Is Scott Richards still in Dubai?
He is still in Dubai, yes. He's currently considering his options, whether he's going to continue to reside there or move.
And are you based in Dubai, the Detained in Dubai body?
We're a UK registered operation, but we have a network of staff and assistants in Dubai and advocates.
Okay, so you're based in London?
Yes, that's right, yeah.
Right, okay. I imagine that it would be difficult to operate Detained in Dubai.
Well, certainly. I mean, even the Telecoms Regulatory Authority has banned our website because, obviously we're raising issues to the public that they don't appreciate.
So what advice then would you offer to people? Because plenty of people travel to Dubai. I think these days modern travellers tend to just think that the world is their oyster and do travel to lots of places that have very different laws without doing much investigation. What's your view to people who are travelling to the United Arab Emirates? What should they be doing to make sure that they know what the laws are before they arrive?
Well, I mean, the laws are so complicated that even if you go onto the Travel Advisory Bureau for your government before flying, they often don't cover a lot of the laws that are there. For example, these particular charity laws. No one would really be aware of this before travelling. So, we obviously provide information on our website, so it's a good idea to check there before travelling. Other than that, I think the biggest problem that visitors face would be seeing what other people do in Dubai and thinking that if they're all doing it, and most of them are, then it's okay, whatever that happens to be, whether it's drinking alcohol or homosexual parties or anything like that. You see other people doing it and you think it's okay, but you could be the one who's arrested. Now, they're increasing their police forces over there as well, so we're probably going to see a lot more arrests over the next few years, I imagine.
Well, it's certainly food for thought and maybe a good idea to just avoid any social media, at least in relation to the issue that Scott Richards faced. As you said, with the arbitrary nature of the enforcement of these laws, very difficult to know when you might be committing an infraction. Well, Radha, it sounds like you've been doing great work for a decade. Thanks very much for telling us about Detained in Dubai, an organisation I wasn't aware of before, and about Scott Richards' circumstance. It's very interesting stuff.
Oh, perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Radha Stirling, the CEO of Detained in Dubai.